My DoorDash people, your boy C Moto, what is going on? We are Friday, March 10th. A little wet outside. I love it. It's going to be busy. It's time to make some money. You hear me? I love it when it rains because it becomes very busy. Got a lot of customers that are just lazy. The ones that would normally go out to get something to eat, now they're not going out and get something to eat. Now they calling me or us. So with that said, as you can see by the thumbnail, just some information that I wanted to run by you guys. You know, I'm always about positivity. I'm always about anything that I can help you guys do to possibly make you more money. A lot of things may work, some things may not work, so I don't promise anything. I just provide you things that I do that can possibly help you out if you want to try them. That's part of this whole thing, is just kind of setting up your drive in the way that you like to. But as you can see by the thumbnail, you notice they have tipping that's before an order is sent out, which they're pre-tipping, and then now the customers now have an option that DoorDash has provided, thank you DoorDash, that will allow the customers to now tip after the delivery. So where before customer service wasn't a huge thing, now it's a very huge thing now, because it can determine you getting extra money in terms of tips by providing excellent service. And being that I've been on that world of retail and being in the front line of customers, I know how to provide customer service and being positive and things like that. So if you're out here just being negative or whatever it is, I mean, what you're expecting tips and this and that, I don't know what to tell you. So these are just things that you can do to try to help. It doesn't take much. And all they are is a few messages that you can send out depending on the types of orders you get, how many orders you get. And that generally would be, and I will be screenshotting these at the end of the video, the actual messages that I've typed out. So just in case if I'm speaking in and I forget a word here or two within my messages, I'm going to repeat what exactly I type in my messages to the customers. And this is every order that I get, no matter what, and every stacked order or every shop and deliver order. Again, I'll be posting these screenshots of the messages at the end, so pay attention to the video, and those screenshots will be at the end. I just want to explain to you exactly what it is that I do and why. So, of course, me just being the positive person I am, I like to provide customer service. I don't have to. All your job is to pick up from point A and drop off at point B. That's it. That's all your job is. You don't have to send them the text message. If they want to send you something, the option is there for them to do so, but you don't have to do anything. Before, the customer would provide a pre-tip, which they're tipping when they place their order. Great, fine. I love it. We appreciate it as drivers when the customers do that, because they're installing their faith in us, knowing that we're going to take care of their order, and they're ordering through DoorDash, so they want to tip us. Although a tip is not required, we appreciate it that the ones that do pre-tip. So with that said, being that they can tip after the delivery, what I do, and you don't have to, but what I do is I have a basic formatted text message that I sent to myself. So I typed the message and I text messaged it to my own cell phone number. So now it's labeled, the message is labeled as a certain way. So I know that's the message that I can go back and copy and paste. It's just easier for me to copy and paste the text message than to go and try to copy a paragraph, and it puts the select margins, and then you have to try to copy and do all this shading in of what you want to copy and paste, where text message is just going to copy that whole bubble of whatever message you have there. So that's the best way I do it. But if you have a notepad that you can write these messages in and copy and paste it, whatever way you want to do this, this is how I would generally do it, and how you probably should, but you have your way you would like to, totally fine. So when I get my order, the first thing that I do once I get it, I leave you tap in the left-hand corner, I believe. It'll go down to, it'll say the restaurant, and then it'll have the customer. If you click the customer, that's when you'll see in the top right corner the telephone signal or the message symbol. At that point, you can click the message and it'll bring it to the chat for the customer. The message that I'm pasting says as follows: "Hi, my name is Corey. I accepted your order and I am on my way to pick it up as we speak. If you have any questions or concerns about your order, please don't hesitate to reach out to me so we can fix whatever it may be that you need done or need to let me know. With that said, I will be to your address momentarily, and the order will be left the way that you requested. End quote. That is the paragraph that I pasted them. You would be surprised how many customers, I want to say 8 to 9 out of 10 customers reply back just amazed at that message, because they don't get messages from the drivers. And like I said, it's not a requirement, but it makes you stand out because now you've mentioned your name. And if you get repeat orders with these customers, they start remembering that message because it's so detailed. And it's like, oh, that's Corey. Oh, I got Corey again. Oh, I got Corey again. They're not going to remember it just by them telling them that, oh, Corey is picking up your order. It's going to be so many different names they're going to come across, but that text message is going to be very, very specific and detailed that they're going to remember, oh, this is that driver that I got, and he took care of me the last 2 or 3 times. This is where that margin of customer service comes into place, where you're picking up at point A and dropping off at point B. This is that area where you can provide that service. So within that area, do all you can, because now they can tip after the fact of dropping off the order. So if you provided excellent service, and in that case, that text message means a lot to them. It's letting them know, hey, my name is this. It's letting them know that he knows about my order. He's going to make sure that it's secure, and they have a secure feeling that their order is being taken care of by the driver, which it should be, but you're just letting them know, making them aware. And if they have any questions or concerns or anything, they can always reach out to you. That's the one thing about that. Although they can just do it, you're just assuring them that if there's any issues, concerns, and maybe something they weren't thinking about, and they're like, oh yeah, let me let the driver know. So these are just things that can help you out. That's that first message there. And again, like I said, I am going to paste these messages at the end of the video, so you will be able to see. Additionally to that, that's that basic message to every order gets. I have an additional message that I send out when I get stacked orders. This is multiple orders in one shot. I got one order, but a second one got added, a third one got added, a fourth one got added. There is also a message that I send to them, and this is something that I suggested DoorDash do, but I don't think they will. I have suggested it in their feedback, and I haven't gotten anything from them about it. But this message, the one that I send out for the stacked orders, the main reason I send that out is for ratings, feedback from the customer. When I say that, say you get one order and you accept it. Okay, that customer knows you accepted that order. You get a second order sent to you. Now that customer, once you've accepted it, they now know you got the orders. Once you pick up order 1, that customer is being alerted that you've picked it up. Once you've picked up order number 2, that customer is now being alerted that you picked it up. They each see their own mapping screen with you on the screen. And you have to understand this, and this is why this stacked order message is very important. And it's something that DoorDash should really be taking care of, but they're not going to do it. They could add it to their to the way they build their code for their app, but they're choosing not to. I don't know why, because it is very important. So imagine you picked up order number 1. You picked up order number 2. Now, order number 2 doesn't know that you have picked up an additional order. So now you're on a mapping. And most of the time these orders are going in the same direction, but you're in a mapping system that each customer is now seeing you going. So they just see you driving around, and maybe the first order is off a mile or so from the second customer. The second customer is just seeing where you're driving, and you're off the mapping track to get to them. They're like, where the hell is my driver going? So they ask this. I get text messages sometimes asking, hey, are you okay? You don't seem to be driving exactly to my area. So it strikes me that DoorDash doesn't do something about that to at least alert them to say, as soon as I've accepted the second order, they can alert both customers that Corey is now on a multi-trip pickup of orders, and we are not sure currently which one will be delivered first, but he will have them delivered to you in a proper manner in terms of time. So this is where, like I said, that message then becomes important to send out, and this message goes as follows. To update you additionally, I am picking up an additional order. I am not sure which order DoorDash will have me deliver first, but please know and understand that both orders are going to be headed in the same direction, and they might be off a little bit from one another. Just to make you aware that you see me on the mapping system in another area slightly away from where you are. If there's any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you soon. End quote. That message, again, they appreciate it. They love it. They know they're not blindsided that you're taking forever with their order because you have a first order that you got to pick up in their number 2. So that's where it becomes important to send that message out to these stacked customers. Like I said, they're just pre-text messages that I've picked out. Doesn't have no names to them as far as customers. It's just basic messages from me to them. And I send that message to both customers because I don't know which one they're going to have me deliver first until I've picked them both up. And at that point, that's when DoorDash assigns which one you're going to drop off. So that's where that message becomes important. I don't mean to be too long-winded when it comes to this, but I just want to explain to you exactly how this works and why it ties into then getting these tips after the delivery. So that is that. Again, at the end, I will be posting screenshots of these messages so you can pause them, you can read them, you can create your own messages based on what I wrote. Just something to try to help out. Now, that's for single orders and stacked orders, and it could be a multiple up to how many ever orders you would send all those messages to each one of the customers. And once you master the app and you know what you're doing and this and that, it becomes very easy to just automatically do. The next message that I have created, and this is for strictly shop and deliver people, customers. This message, obviously, I send my basic one out. Hi, my name is Corey. I accepted your order, blah, blah, blah. That's the first message I send to them. The second message I will send is this message as follows. Hey, I just want to inform you if you can have, or I won't say inform you, but I just wanted to ask you if you can have your phone on you in the case that something is out of stock, that I will reach out to you and see if you want to request a substitute item, possibly if your item is not in stock. Before I choose to cancel the order, at least give you the chance or option to pick something else if your brand, model, make, whatever it is that you are picking is out of stock. And end quote. Those customers, they love it because you've made them aware to just make sure they have their phone on them, because just in case an item they want is out of stock, instead of me just clicking not available or cancel the item and they get a refund, at least if you are able to substitute an item, which I think you almost all the time are, there's occasionally sometimes where it doesn't allow me to substitute an item. But at that point, all you have to do is send that message out. They love it. If there's an item that's out of stock, that's when they'll have their phone, because I told them to be ready, because I'd rather them have another option than me to cancel their item. And that's providing service. That's providing that customer service that I'm talking about. So then they're happy. They love it because you're keeping them aware and making them aware that, hey, have my phone on me just in case he calls me or texts me and say, hey, we're out of stock, that I'm ready to go. Because you are on a shop and deliver time that you have to finish those orders by. So you want to make sure you don't waste too much time. Now, occasionally customers don't reply back. So at some point, you're just going to have to cancel that item and then they'll be refunded. Don't go out of your way beyond that. So once you send a text message saying it's out of stock, then you can tell them, hey, these chips are out of stock. Would you like another option of chips? And they'll find out however they want to substitute it. They'll be able to go through the app and find a substitute item, and then it'll come back to you in a message saying this person substituted this item, so go find that item now. So at that point, the customers are great. They're happy because they now have options. So like I said, this is just all customer service friendly things that you can do to maximize the amount of money that you get. And this is where it all ties in to now getting that tip after the delivery, because you provided all this service. You've let them know who you are, that you're handling their order. You've let the stacked order customers know that you have multiple orders and you're not sure which one is going to deliver first, but you will be to them as quick as you can if you happen to be the second delivery. So things like that, and then the shop and deliver, giving them an option to be able to pick another item. Those are things that can help you get that. And as you can see by the thumbnail, that's what it was. The person tipped me $2 before, and because of my communication with them, and he made it clear as I thanked him when I seen the after tip, when this feature started, I didn't know that it was a thing until I seen after the fact. It said this person has added an additional tip at the end of the delivery for an additional $3. And he said, and I just said, thank you for the additional tip. And they said, you're welcome. It's based on your communication that you have had with me. And it was very pleasant. So those are things that you can do to help yourself. Maybe you didn't get a tip prepaid before, but that service that you start providing possibly will get you a tip because of the communication that you're going about with the customer. That you were communicating with them through their order or whatever it is, or you helped them out do something additionally that at the end, they're probably asking to rate you. And then at that point it's saying, would you like to leave an additional tip for Corey? And then that's when they'll send $1, $5, $10, $50. So like I said, I will leave it at that. Those are just a few things that you can do. Like I said, it's just a small area of margin that you can provide this service to the customers. So with that said, like I said, I will be posting these screenshots here. The first one's going to be the basic message. The second message is going to be the stacked order message, the multiple orders that you get in one shot. Then the third message is going to be for you shop and deliver people for that do shop and delivers orders. And like I said, you send these messages out, create the messages the way you want to create them. I like the messages that I've created because they make sense, they help them, everybody understands them, and they appreciate it nonetheless. So when their order goes swell and well and you left it the way they wanted it, there was no issues, concerns, and you have your chance and opportunity to possibly get an additional tip or a tip period if you didn't get one the first time. So you got to get out there and you got to prove yourself. You got to provide to the customers that you're taking care of them or whatever it is, so you possibly can get that tip. This is a job like no other people, and you have the option to get tips. You have some jobs out there where there are no tips that are being asked of the customers or whatever it is. So we have to be fortunate enough to know that we can get tips. Imagine we couldn't get tips or whatever it is. It's like you got a lot of complainers out there that say that they're so upset because they don't get tips when tips are provided because of a service that you provide, not because of service they used. Just because they're using DoorDash doesn't mean that becomes a tip that they have to leave. I will always preach that. I love tips. I enjoy tips just like everybody else, but I don't feel it's a requirement, because once I start depending on the tips, that's when it becomes a problem. Then I start getting pissy with all the customers, and then that's when all this crazy stuff starts happening because they're not being tipped because they had to deliver to an apartment, or because they had to deliver to a skyrise building, or just because they had to go out of their way to drop the food on the doorstep or whatever it is. That's when you start becoming dependent on the tips, and then you start building up this negative attitude about driving or whatever it is, and then you start complaining. It's like you can't force customers to give you tips, but what you can do is provide the best service that you possibly can. It's like you pick the order up anyways, at least provide the best service you can for a chance at a tip, now that they can add it after the fact. So before, if you didn't see a tip, and even then, maybe you didn't see a tip, but there was one hidden and included, and you would never know that because you didn't see it at the beginning when you accepted the order. So you can imagine how many drivers out there are losing money because they're not accepting orders that didn't show a tip and the tip was hidden. So that's for you drivers that are out there actually driving to make the money, and the ones that aren't accepting, you're the ones that are losing money because they do have hidden tips out there. When you accept the order and once you drop it off, hey, that person tipped you $10. So you lost out on the base money plus the $10 tip because of your negativity. Now, granted, I understand, and I will always understand you drivers that are driving in markets that just don't pay well for base pays and have all these miles. I'm not telling you to accept those orders or anything like that. You do what you want when it comes to that stuff. I'm just saying, once you have accepted it, it is what it is. So it's like you might as well make the best of it, especially now that they can tip you after the fact. So with that said, people, I will leave it at that. I am getting ready to sign in. I got some driving to do all night long. I think I'm going to go about 10 hours. And I'm going to be scheduling my hour-for-hour dashes. If you have not seen those videos, I will put those video links down in the description below, explaining how I schedule my dashes and how I make more money driving hour for hour for hour. If you have not seen those videos, please go back and see. There's a part 1 and a part 2. The part 1 was my theory on the way that I did schedule my dashes, possibly to see if I can make more money scheduling a certain way. And the part 2 was a confirmation of my theory, and it was proven that I was able to make an additional $100 more than the average day that I would schedule working X amount of hours. So I said, go check those previous videos out if you guys are interested on a possible way to make more money. If you're able to dash the way I dash, being a top dasher, I believe it becomes easier versus scheduling. For you non-dashers, it might be an issue, but with that said, I will leave it at that. I'm getting winded. I need to save my breath for being out here so I can run these dashes out. With that said, your boy C-Moto, you know what it is. Here are the screenshots that I will be posting to you. Again, their messages: basic message number 1, stacked message number 2, and the shop and deliver message number 3. Your boy C-Moto, you know what it is. I am out. Peace out. You guys have a great weekend, and God bless. All right, so this is where you can see the customer tipped me $2 before and then tipped me $3 after based on my communication with him. This is my next basic message. Again, hi, my name is Corey, and I am your DoorDash delivery driver. I just accepted your order, and I am currently on my way to pick it up. I will be to your address momentarily and drop off accordingly to your specific request. Then we have the next message here for the stacked orders. I do have 2 deliveries to pick up. Not sure which one will have me deliver first, but what I do know is in these cases, both orders are toward one another. So wait won't be long either way, and I will be as quick as I possibly can be. And then the last message for you shop and delivers: if you can have your phone on you for reasons, if they are out of stock on something, I can check with you on a possible substitute before canceling item. I will text you and let you know, and if there is a substitute you want, I'll look for it and I'll take a picture of it. You guys, that's it. Until next